Okay, this is a book that has such positive messages in it, and it's breast cancer survivors who share their stories. We're going to talk about that after the break, but first, battling breast cancer is just that, a battle. The emotional and physical turmoil can change the way you look at life. But for many, the fight against the disease is a successful one. Survivors can see life through new eyes and with a new attitude. Breast cancer survivors have come together to share their stories for a book. It's called How to Ride a Dragon. And joining us on the Noon Show is Ginny Mitchell. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
What does a dragon symbolize to you?
To me, the dragon symbolizes cancer and my battle with cancer. The dragon changes in character as the cancer progresses. When I was first diagnosed, the cancer was very scary, and it was this horrible beast. And as time goes on, for me and a lot of women in this book, we learn to accept the dragon and in some cases befriend the dragon.
So is that almost symbolic of how the dragon boat races started, or what's that all about? What's the connection there?
Well, the dragon boat races have had nothing to do with breast cancer originally, and 5 or 6 years ago, a team started in Vancouver, and it was an experiment to see whether or not repetitive exercise would increase the woman's risk of lymphedema, which is sometimes a real problem for women that have had surgery and axillary node dissection and radiation. So it started as an experiment to see if exercise like that increased the risk of lymphedema. And at the end of the season, the women that formed this team had such a wonderful time, and they didn't want to quit. And that was where the first boat started. Calgary has started a team about a year after. This is our 5th year on the water here in Calgary as a breast cancer team. So we're a very small part of the dragon boat races, but it is a growing movement across Canada.
Absolutely. There are 40 teams across this country.
That's right. And there are some teams in Australia and New Zealand and in the States.
It's just so interesting that you tied it in with this book, and it's How to Ride This Dragon. It's so symbolic. For you, how was that struggle to fight breast cancer?
Well, I was diagnosed 5 years ago. I'm coming up to my 5th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Well, there's good and bad news. My cancer did come back 2 years ago. The cancer has spread to my bones. So my dragon is always part of my life. It is an ongoing battle for me. And so there's very scary moments with it all. I don't really know what the future holds. But dragon boating gives me a sense of power. When I'm dragon boating, I don't have cancer. And I feel like I'm in control.
How do other members, when they shared their stories with you, was there a definite similarity between the ways you all felt?
There's a lot of different ways of looking at it. And it's interesting reading this book. There's fascinating stories. 22 women tell their stories in here, and they're from teams across Canada. And everybody has a different way of looking at the dragon and why they came to dragon boating. And for some of them, it has been a very, very hard battle, and becoming a member of this team really did change their lives, and it became such a positive experience. And some of us kind of call ourselves a floating support group, and we are that to a degree, but it is much more than that.
I found it interesting that you also mentioned that everyone has a dragon to fight, so we can all sort of relate to this because we all have our fears and challenges.
Very much. I think anybody that is facing any sort of serious illness, from MS, Lou Gehrig's disease, all sorts of illnesses, alcoholism, drug abuse, everybody has times in their life where bad things happen. And that's a lot of the message in this book, is that bad things happen to people, and it depends what you want to do with what happens and how you choose to deal with it.
Tell us quickly about this year's dragon boat race.
Well, we'll be racing again on the Glenmore. We're supposed to be out starting our practices on May the 6th, which is really hard to believe right now.
The weather hopefully will cooperate. It's going to be a really cold
start to the whole thing. We have 3 teams in Calgary, and we've brought on some new paddlers this year. So we have about 75 women in Calgary, and we're called Sistership, that make up our teams. And the races are the 3rd weekend in July.
Great. Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here today. This is Ginny Mitchell. The book is called How to Ride a Dragon. Women with Breast Cancer Tell Their Stories. It's available in bookstores.